It's the dawn of a new season. New faces debut, old ones return. And the drivers who made up the championship fight just 2 weeks ago in Sonoma hit the track anew for a brand new season. With the points for this season reset, but the implications for not only the Season 2 chase and the full season chase are on the line. And what better place to get things unofficially started than a drafting track, and one of the most unique drafting tracks on the service and on the NASCAR circuit. It's also known as Echo Park Speedway officially. Tonight I'll be calling it Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's one of my home tracks. It plays host to tonight's action as drafting track action returns for the first time since Talladega back in the month of April. Tonight, it's the Challenger Cup Series and Race 2 of Season 2 of the 2026 season, live on PGR eSports. Welcome back to Challenger Tuesday nights. My name is Dawson Weiss. Happy to have you with me. I want to first apologize for missing out on last week's race, the Season 2 opener from Chicagoland. Some things came up last minute, but happy to be back tonight. I can tell you, an old familiar face won last week at Chicagoland to reopen his account in the Challenger Cup Series. He'll start again tonight. John Velocity is back in the series and burst back onto the scene with a victory in his first start back on the series tour last week in Joliet. Tonight, the field arrives in Hampton, Georgia for drafting track action. Again, for the first time in almost 3 months, it'll be pack racing, constant action, side-by-side chaos here at what is, again, officially known as Echo Park Speedway. You'll hear me tonight call it Atlanta. 2 weeks ago in Sonoma, Ryan Patty crowned himself a Challenger Cup Series champion, and his defense began last week in Joliet. Harold Watkins came up 1 spot short. He looks to make it 1 spot better and win his second Challenger Cup Series title in Season 2. There is also full season chase implications, and you heard Harold Watkins talk about that a couple of weeks ago. The full season chase will begin at Darlington in September. The implications for that, of course, still on the line as we go throughout this year. But Season 2 begins tonight. We'll crown technically 2 champions at Homestead, Miami, a full season champ and a Season 2 champ. And Atlanta tonight begins the march towards that full season title. It's time to get down trackside and get you ready for tonight's action from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's time to set the grid and meet the starters for tonight's action. 130 laps tonight at Atlanta. Here is how they will line up to start the first race, the first broadcasted race of season number 2. It's the champ, Ryan Patty, that will go from the front row and from pole position. He'll start alongside the 5, the Oakley Chevrolet. That's Matt Hayden here tonight in second. Back in the third spot, and starting on the inside of row number 2, it's going to be Adam Pettit, the newly rebranded Liquid Death colors for him tonight in car 49. He'll go from third. It's James Catrone in the 38 that will start on the outside of row 2. Imagine he'll have the Oscar Mayer colors back tonight. We're still waiting for some paint schemes to come in over the course of the next couple of minutes. Back on row 3, it's Cody Eldred in the 14. Had a breakout season in season 1 of 2026. He'll return here looking for even more and looking for win number 1. What an opportunity tonight on a drafting track. He'll start from 5th. It's Andrew Little in the Waterford Concept Chevy that will go to his outside in 6th. Row 4, Fisher Graham returns for a full season here in season 2. He'll start from the inside of row 4 in the bright blue number 13. Alongside him, it's the debuting Lane Phillips, his first broadcasted start in the series. He'll start tonight from the 8th position. And on row 5, running at the top 10, welcome back Hunter Carlson. He'll start from 9th tonight. The 2 aboard that machine, a new paint scheme for him. Alongside him, it's last season's runner-up Harold Watkins. The Callaway colors are back for him. Row 6, Chris Mackey also debuts tonight. Carlisle Tools aboard that number 9 machine. He'll go from 11th. Brian Cunningham starts from the 12th position. Row 7, also the broadcasted debut for Anthony Rasso in the 17. Rasso, perhaps. We'll get a clarification on that later in the race. The orange and white 17 will start from 13th. That's Brandon Beauchamp. We'll start from 14th, likely again the High Rock colors aboard his car. Greg Bourbonier in the Miller Lite Camry starts from 15th on the inside of row 8. And Christian Strader returns to full-time Challenger Cup Series action with his first broadcasted full-time race back tonight in Atlanta. He'll go from 16th. 2 more cars on the field. Last week's winner, John Velocity, carries Napa tonight. He'll start from 17th. And shotgun on the field, the newly rebranded Buc-ee's, number 80 of Mike Martino. 18 starters are ready to get things going for season number 2. Sorry about the little hiccup there with paint schemes. We've got them all loaded in now and have everything ready for you to watch all of the action from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Season 1 had about everything you could possibly ask for. Season 2 is on tap and sure to give us more of the same. Ryan Patty looks to defend the crown. 17 others look to take it from him. And it all begins tonight in Atlanta. Season 2 of the Challenger Cup Series is here. Who better to lead the field to green than the defending champ? Green flag is in the air. We're racing from Atlanta. Now, again, it should be noted, this place is not going to quite race like Atlanta does in the real-life circuit. This place has not been rescanned to match the wear and tear, the aging that has taken place on the current Atlanta Motor Speedway surface. This place is still as if it was in about 2024 or so in terms of the aging on the surface. So it will be pack racing tonight. About the fact there is more drag on this Gen 7 car in the sim than there was in real life on these cars just a couple of nights ago in Atlanta. Ryan Patty's led the first couple. He's out front, 28 to go in stage 1. Remember, if you're new to the series, a new viewer, 1 stage break per week. It's usually about the quarter mark of the race tonight. It'll take place at the conclusion of lap 30, just short of that quarter mark. You heard about 28 laps time. 130 is the race distance, half of the cup race distance from the other night. They ran 260. Granted, it took them about 6.5 hours to run 260 laps with the rain delay and all the chaos that they had. Imagine it will not take us that long tonight to run 130. Outside, it's led by James Catrone. He's followed up by the Chris Mackey machine. Again, first debut race for a few drivers in the field tonight. Mackey being one of them in car number 9. Lane Phillips and Anthony Rasso are the other 2 further back in the field. But Patty continues to lead. Adam Pettit's on his bumper. Adam Pettit made a couple of starts at the end of season number 1. He's back once again here in season 2. He'll dip to the inside of Patty here. Ryan Patty almost left the door open as they work back by the start-finish line. Lap 5 goes on the board, and now the outside starts to roll. Matt Hayden jumps up in front of Catrone. He wants a trip to the front. Remember, Hayden's last win in this series on a drafting track in Talladega. just about 8 months ago. Cody Eldred, big blink for him as they start to scramble out back around Watkins. First 3 wide of the season. Cody Eldred has not reappeared on the racetrack yet. As of now, he is still dealing with the connection problem. He'll reappear here off turn 4 and maintain the 3rd spot in line on the inside. 2 wide from 2nd on back. That's where the battle is between Hayden and Pettit. Then it's Cottrell and Eldred alongside each other. Then it's Mackey. Then it's Brian Cunningham and Fisher Graham. Some underdog potential winners out back of these leaders right now towards the tail end of the top 10. Hayden alongside. He'll nose out front of Ryan Patty as the field works back to turn 3. A couple of drivers dealing with connection issues here early in this one. Eldred is one of them. There are a couple of others. We'll keep an eye on that as this race nears its completion. Hunter Carlson looks to be one of the other ones in the gold, white, and black number 2 on the inside lane, about 6 rows deep in the field. Up the banking of turn 1, Patty back out in front, vaults in front of Matt Hayden. He'll throw the block this time here off turn 2, so starting to manage lanes is the Ryan Patty machine. As they work back down towards turn 3, Pettit continues to lead the bottom with Eldred, Graham in tow. As Graham works up the speedway, so did Cunningham. Again, expect dirty air to be a bit of a problem in this race car. Expect tires to become an issue as this race labors on as well. 23 laps to go in stage 1. They're going to fly by. Laps here at the newly reconfigured Atlanta, just under 30 seconds per lap, 29.88. The leaders last time at the line. This race will go quickly if the chaos stays confined to just a stage break caution. Inside's mostly been bailed on here. Pettit, Eldred, the only 2 inside of the top 7 that are on the bottom side of the racetrack right now. Ryan Patty continues to lead the top side, almost 3 wide out back. It was Harold Watkins that throws Brian Cunningham in the center. Bourbonier's going to cut him a break, but that will split this main pack into 2 individual groups. This first one ends with Eldred in the 6th position. Then it's Watkins and Beauchamp that lead the second one. That's about 6 car lengths out the back. Trouble. Around goes Fisher Graham. First spin of the new season is Graham. He half spins. He saves it. Also, a couple of cars have lost the draft. Anthony Raso in the 17. Mike Martino in the 80 have both lost the lead draft as of right now. Trouble. Ryan Patty and Brandon Beauchamp. Now we're going to crash. Bourbonier's in it. Velocity. Big hit. Brian Cunningham. The 32's hard in the safer barrier. The big one strikes. Raso comes in late. Fisher Graham also comes in late, and a number of cars involved as the big one strikes for the first time this season just short of lap 10. This is a number of cars with severe damage. You see there Fisher Graham, his suspension destroyed. He'll shortly have to use his one fast repair. Brian Cunningham will likely be in the same boat here in car 32. We'll go back and start to take a look at this. We're going to catch it a little bit late. Let's go back and see if we can see what started this. It's actually going to be a couple of separate incidents here. We're actually going to go up front first. Oh, Ryan Patty loose on entry there in the 30. Had to catch it. Jumps up the speedway. Close call for Matt Hayden to keep off of him. Patty gets the wall, but then Brandon Beauchamp is not going to quite be as lucky. He'll come along here in the High Rock Vodka Chevrolet coming on the inside of the racetrack. There he is right there, car 15. Nowhere to go for him. He's in the brakes. He's turning left. There's just nowhere to go. He slides sideways. Then behind them, there was an entirely separate incident involving John Velocity, Greg Bourbonier, Brian Cunningham, Christian Strader, potentially Andrew Little, and Fisher Graham. And I'm not exactly sure what sparked this one up. Brian Cunningham gets the wall, and then off turn number 4, chaos is going to strike back around these cars. Carlson shoots the bottom on Bourbonier. 3 wide for a moment. Velocity. Oh, he tried to push the Cunningham machine. It was too hard a bump. It gets both cars sideways, and you see almost synchronized spin. Carlson collected by Cunningham. Bourbonier collects Velocity. Strader turned off Little's nose, and then it was Brian Cunningham who nosed hard into the outside safer barrier. Shades of Denny Hamlin back in 2023 as he got the wall and got it good. Big damage on his Budweiser Chevrolet. You saw him sitting in his pit box. We'll go back and take another look or two at this one. Again, you're going to see the Ryan Patty incident happen up in front of these guys, but off turn 4, you're going to see right here, Velocity tries to give Cunningham a bump. It doesn't work. Those two crash, and look at this hit for Cunningham. And it expired the motor on the 32, so he'll have to sit there for a moment. Then he got a big shot, the 17 of Raso, who piled in very late into that one as well. A number of cars are involved. Go back to one more look at it. Man, big hit there for Cunningham. Beauchamp, there's Graham coming in. Raso coming in. Strader's going through the grass, doing some landscaping there. the big one. Strikes early at Atlanta, and now gives us an opportunity to kind of reset, but a number of cars behind the 8 ball now in terms of damage. I can tell you for sure, Brian Cunningham has called it a night. He is no longer being scored in the 32 as of lap 9. We'll let you know if he comes back on track. He is currently not on track. Can tell you that Fisher Graham is 1 lap down. It appears to me he'll come back to pit road here. Ryan Patty also continues to sit on pit road. You wonder if he'll go 1 lap down here or if he'll get off pit road before the leaders get by him. Looks like he's going to skate off pit road. So some damage, extended repairs on Patty's car as well. Fisher Graham still continues to sit on pit road 1 lap down. Everyone else is still on the lead lap. A lot of guys utilize their 1 fast repair. First caution of the night will go back to green on lap 14. It'll be 17 to go in stage number 1. Can tell you, coming into this race, only 2 extra tire sets tonight, which could come into play. Of course, Atlanta is a big-time tire wear racetrack, and we'll see what that's got in store throughout the night as well. Do want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, checking out the Challenger Cup Series. If you're new to the Challenger Cup Series, keep coming back to support these guys. Again, not a big car count league, but I said it 2 weeks ago at Sonoma. This league continues to produce really great action, and will continue to do so into the future as well. So if it's your first time, hit the like, hit the subscribe, join PGR eSports, because we got a big few weeks coming up. The SummerSlam 499 is right around the corner as well. It'll feature these Gen 7 cars. I'll tell you more about that later in the show. If you're returning to the Challenger Cup Series, thank you for your continued support. Hope you enjoy this season as much as you did the last season. Adam Pettit, Chris Mackey, bit of a shake-up at the front of the field with Patty now vacating the lead. Green flag in the air. Outside doesn't go. Mackey didn't get a great start. Pettit got a pretty good jump on the inside. James Catrone says thank you very much. He'll drive forward to the second spot. Catrone is a guy to watch tonight. Remember back at the Michigan International Speedway in Season 1 of this year, nearly got career win number 1 on the account here in the Challenger Cup Series. So for Catrone, tonight surely is looking for a victory. He'll jump to the outside of Adam Pettit. Catrone not going to get any help from Matt Hayden. We'll see what Lane Phillips decides to do. The broadcasted debut of the National Guard Chevrolet. Third in line on the inside right now, the silver and black number 4. He's right in front of Harold Watkins. Mackey is going to jump up there. Eldred will go to the 8, and so too will the newly rebranded number 11 of Christian Strader. We're so used to seeing Reese's aboard that car and him being the 29. He is the 11 and sponsored by Tier 1 tonight. So, interesting rebrand for Christian Strader in tonight's race. See if it continues on throughout the season. A couple of guys going with brand new looks for this second season of 2026. Matt Hayden takes second away from Catrone. Catrone's going to dip underneath him as the field works back to turn 1 halfway in stage number 1. Okay, we're going to the conclusion of lap number 30. And then to the conclusion of lap 130. Man, Catrone's car out of control. Similar what we saw Ryan Patty dealing with a moment ago. Lane Phillips, sorry, is going to jump to the middle. Trouble. Phillips gets turned, and that's going to ignite another one. And this one involves Strader and Beauchamp. Strader will come to a stop. And the second caution is out just past the halfway mark of stage 1, and this one involves the Christian Strader machine. This is back around Lane Phillips. This is close to the front of the field. We're going to have to go up and take a look more specifically at the Phillips machine. He had just split to the center on James Catrone, and see what happens here going into turn 3. Obviously, somebody runs out of space, and Phillips turns down the hill too early. And there was some netcode there between the 38 and the 4, but either way, they were going to make some contact on the entry to turn 3. He turned down the hill a little bit too quick and comes across the nose of Catrone. Strader, nowhere for him to go. Same with Beauchamp. Strader slaps the outside wall, goes both sides, rear and front, into it. Beauchamp trying not to get a second piece of Strader. All in all, this could have been bigger than it was. Patty, Velocity, Graham, Bourbonier all skate by on the inside. It really ends up only involving 3 cars. Phillips, Strader, and Beauchamp are the 3 cars involved in this one. We'll go back, we'll take another look at it here. Have to back this up just a little bit. And again, easier said than done to make this entry to turn 3, but Phillips, assuming he's going to be clear, making this move going to turn 3, assumes that he is going to be able to cut down across the nose of Catrone, and he mistimes it just a little and ends up getting spun there off the bumper of Catrone. I guess 4 cars involved. Catrone, Phillips, Strader, Beauchamp. So 4 cars involved. You see Phillip comes right back up the racetrack, and Strader almost had it missed. Gets caught in the wheel well there. Gets turned to the outside wall. Phillips slaps the outside wall. And Beauchamp, nowhere for him to go. But again, a number of guys skate by on the inside and end up unscathed. So the second caution of the night will bring us to a halt here just short of lap 20. And stage 1 continues from Atlanta. Adam Pettit continues to lead over Matt Hayden. The debuting Chris Mackey, Harold Watkins, and James Catrone. Rest of the top 10, Beauchamp, Little, Velocity, Bourbonier, and Phillips. As drivers come down pit road for some extended repairs. Can tell you, Brian Cunningham is back on the racetrack. He is 2 laps down in the Budweiser 32. Anthony Raso is out of tonight's race. He'll finish officially as of now in the 18th position unless he gets back on the racetrack later. But as of now, he is out of tonight's race. Looking at the schedule for Season 2, it's a fun one. Of course, Chicagoland was last week. John Velocity getting the win there. We're at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. The next 2 weeks, we'll see short track racing next week at North Wilkesboro Speedway in rural North Carolina. Of course, North Wilkesboro, since we went there last year, has gotten the facelift here on the iRacing service. It used to be a throwback to the 1980s look of the track. They have updated it since then to the modern look of the racetrack after SMI did its transformation of the facility a couple of years back. So we'll head there next week for some short track racing, and then we'll head to one of the most famous circuits in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for a trip to the Brickyard on July 28th. That's 110 laps in length. That's one of the longer races of the season there in Indy. We'll go 145 next week at Wilkesboro. Then we'll head to an off week. First week in August, Tuesday, August 4th, is going to be an off week. We'll follow that up with trips to Iowa and Richmond, a pair of short tracks. New Hampshire, the flat mile long oval, will follow it. Then it's back to drafting track racing at Daytona. That will end the full season, regular season. Then we'll start the full season chase. This is going to get a little bit confusing later in the season. So we do have a full season chase and a season 2 chase, and they will feature a few different drivers, a few discrepancies between the two. Obviously, drivers that race here in season 2 that did not race in season 1, they're only going to be eligible for the season 2 chase. The full season chase is going to feature drivers from both season 1 and season 2 that run all of the races. The full season chase begins with a trip to the Lady in Black Darlington, then heads to Gateway and Bristol, a trio of unique ovals there, then 2 cookie cutters, Kansas and Las Vegas. That's the end of season 2's regular season, and we'll set that chase field, and that chase looks as follows: a trip to Charlotte on the 1.5 mile, a trip out of the desert to Phoenix, course getting moved out of the championship slot, drafting racing at Talladega, then to the paper clip of Martinsville, with wrapping up the season in Homestead, Miami, as it should be here in Season 2. That's a look ahead at what's to come. Business to be attended to tonight. 11 to go. Stage 1, green flag back in the air as Pettit and Aiden are on the front row. A bit more chaos than maybe I even expected tonight from Atlanta. Again, not to say these drivers are being reckless, just some things happening, and a couple of new drivers in the field. So, of course, everybody still kind of trying to get their feet under them here in Season 2. Pettit leads back to turn 3, 11 laps to go to be 10 at the line in stage number 1. As they work off turn 4, Hayden back to the outside. He's going to lean outside of Pettit. He'll get the lap lead at the line. New leader, the Oakley Chevrolet of Matt Hayden, and he'll have Harold Watkins out back of him now as they'll work together up the banking of turn 1. Watkins, historically good in this series here in Atlanta. So too is Hayden, of course, with a drafting track win back at Talladega in October. Adam Pettit looking for his first win. Of course, Chris Mackey only his second start in the series. I think maybe his first start tonight in the number 9 machine. He is looking for win number 1 also. Watkins has won a dozen times in the last year. James Catrone, Brandon Beauchamp, both looking for win number 1. So is Cody Eldred. Andrew Little, his last win coming in Bristol last year in the playoffs. John Velocity won last week at Chicagoland. Of course, last year's Season 1 and full season champ of the Challenger Cup Series. Of course, returning to full-time action last week in Chicagoland. Hunter Carlson won Kansas a year ago in 2025. Greg Bourbonier looking for win number 1. Strader winning last week in Sonoma has a number of wins on his account. Ryan Patty. We know what Ryan Patty's done in this series, a number of wins over his career. Martino, Phillips, Graham, Cunningham, Raso all looking for win number 1 also. Raso is back on track. He is 6 laps down. Will need a slight miracle to get back into this race, but continues to log laps. Important for later if someone goes out due to an issue. Beauchamp gets split. He was 6th a moment ago. He's going to drop all the way outside the top 10, back to the 12th position is where he will drop to in that shuffle. Chris Mackey works forward ahead of Matt Hayden as Pettit holds onto the lead. Mackey works to second. Impressive early drive. The Carlisle Tools, the bright neon yellow number 9, as he is second, almost trouble. Brian Cunningham had a moment out back as he came off turn 2. He makes the same. 7 to go, stage 1. What's been a fast and furious stage opening this race at Atlanta. Ryan Patty starting to work back through the field. He's back to 9th position. Off turn 2, big slide. Matt Hayden up in front of Chris Mackey. With 6 to go, almost 5. Cunningham spins, hits the outside, or rather the inside wall on the left side of that Chevrolet. A bad night gone worse. The driver 2 laps down on the 32. But we'll keep it green and keep it up front. 5 laps to go at the line in this first stage. 10 horsepower, they might. It sure seems like the car is driving that way. We'll have to find out a little bit later on in the evening. 4 laps to go, stage 1. Pettit continues to lead in what's become a dominant stage 1 for the driver of the Liquid Death Mustang. But Mackey to his left elbow trying to challenge. Matt Hayden down to sidetracked. He's thinking about the middle. He and Harold Watkins, I think, both had that same thought. Now he'll turn left here into the entry of turn 3. Matt Hayden wants to lead. Ryan Patty breaks back to the top 5 for the first time. He'll bring Christian Strader to the party. With him, trouble! Pettit spins right in front of the field. Patty gets collected. Strader is in it too, so is Chris Mackey. And the caution's going to come out and end stage number 1 under the caution flag. Give the win to Matt Hayden as of right now. And a number of cars involved, including cars that have already been involved in cautions tonight. As the dominant car, stage 1, Adam Pettit spun right in front of the field. Man, a tough break for Pettit. What had been such a great night for him going already has gone awry right at the end of stage 1. Grip has been a problem on these tires today already. And for Adam Pettit right there, he's going to have the same fate as a couple of drivers earlier. Ryan Patty, notably being the guy who was leading when this happened. And as soon as he hits a bump or something happens under the race car, that car gets completely out of shape, spins sideways. He does his best job to catch it. Mackey's actually going to hit him a couple of times there. And then nowhere to go for Ryan Patty or Christian Strader. Carlson lucky to dive left and get out of the way. But 3 cars involved. Patty nudged against the outside wall. Strader sandwiches himself in to this one as well. Kind of go to the close-up view. Show you what I'm talking about, this snap. It just snaps on him right here in the middle of the corner. And not much you can do to save it. There's the hits for Strader. For Patty as well. Tough break. Both of those cars. Well, you can hand the stage win to Matt Hayden. He'll capture the stage win under the caution flag. Our 3rd caution flag of the night. With that being said, we're going to hit a quick break. When we come back, I want to comment on something the drivers have been talking about with this car. You won't miss a thing. We'll go side by side. Hopefully our only ad break of the evening. You're watching the Challenger Cup Series live on PGR eSports. We'll be back after this.
Green flag is in the air. We are racing. Three by 3. Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. Hard into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. Finish. Who gets it in the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
have created our own drink company. The fastest growing sports drink in history.
We want pride! We want pride! Ladies and gentlemen, we got paddles.
The monkey has pride!
This season, we are hydrated.
The official sports drink of the UFC. It's time!
Oh, that's good.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Stage 2 about to get underway. We'll actually run the entire 100 laps of Stage 2. As Stage 1 will end technically right here when we get to the line, although it did end under caution. Matt Hayden did capture the stage victory in Stage number 1. An entire stage still to go. 100 laps to go from Atlanta. Green flag back in the air. Hayden and Watkins were on the front row. Eldred did not go from 4th. And they'll fan out down to turn 1. Is 100 laps to go from just south of Atlanta, Georgia, here in Hampton. Andrew Little leans to the inside. He wants a trip to the lead for the first time in this second season of 2026. Greg Bourbonier is up here. Chris Mackey continues to be impressive. He's been inside the top 5 most of the night and continues to run up here right now in that bright yellow and black Carlisle number 9 Chevrolet on the outside third behind Harold Watkins. Lane Phillips works back into the equation. So too does Eldred. So too does Catrone. First time we've really seen Hunter Carlson here at the front tonight. Challenge for the lead. Watkins looked to the outside. Couldn't get the car to grip up well here there in 1 and 2. He may get the run here down the back straightaway with the help of Chris Mackey, and he will. Volt, the Callaway, good Chevrolet, right to the lead. The Hurricane. Harold Watkins goes to the front. Help of the debuting rookie, Chris Mackey. Lane Phillips coming up the outside now. He'll take his first trip into the top 5 since the incident earlier. James Catrone leaning outside, trying to get to that point. Christian Strader, Adam Pettit, both coming to the front as well as Watkins inherits the lead here in turn 1. Watkins, a runner-up in last season in Season 1, a champion of Season 2 in 2025. He has won over 10 races over the last calendar year. Looking at another one here at Atlanta. Would be, if I recall, the first drafting win for him, at least again if I remember correctly. I believe it would be the first drafting track victory for Watkins in this series. He's won on everything else, short track, intermediate, road course. Just has not captured the drafting track victory yet. Back to turn 1, 97 to go. Mackey will run alongside Matt Hayden for 2nd. Andrew Little is 3rd. Then it's Bourbonier, or rather, he's 4th. Then Bourbonier is 5th. Trone right in behind them. Really, the entire pack is still here. Back to Mike Martino. Ryan Patty must have taken the fast repair on the opening caution because he was riding around with a considerable amount of damage on board his Fast House Chevrolet. You see there, center punched on the nose and rear end damage as well. We'll have to await. See if he can get that damage fixed a little later on in the race. Matt Hayden noses back out front. He's got Andrew Little with him. And he'll go back to the lead. Looking for his first win in the series in 8 months. Dating back to October of 2025. Watkins almost turned the bumper of Chris Mackey there on the run up to turn 1. They keep it together somehow. Andrew Little says thank you very much. So too does Greg Bourbonier. Bourbonier, a podium finisher here at Atlanta. At least once last year. May have been both trips to this racetrack in 2025 that he captured a podium finish. I know for sure he did in February. I think he did in June as well. Bourbonier knows how to get around this racetrack, and he's worked inside the top 3 for the first time tonight with 94 laps to go at the line. Again, almost the entire pack is up here. The only car on the lead lap that's not with the pack is Ryan Patty. A couple of cars are laps down. Raceso is 5 laps down, so again, could start getting some cautions and perhaps get back into this thing. Brian Cunningham's gone 11 laps down in the 32. The Budweiser Chevy. A sour start to his Season 2 of 2026. Matt Hayden ahead by 2-3 car lengths here, and this is starting to be reminiscent of what we saw on Sunday in the NASCAR Cup Series race. The Penske cars out front. Matt Hayden's opened up a bit of a lead here in the middle stages at Atlanta. Mackey lunges on Andrew Little. He'll jump the outside here and go look for the second spot. Remember back to Season 1, where we had a rookie win this race in Season 1 here at Atlanta. It was David Traylor that took the victory here at Atlanta, and that jump-started a 3-win rookie campaign with wins at Atlanta, Martinsville, and Charlotte later on in the season. Traylor ended up having a really impressive campaign. Do not see him where Clinton would be tonight, unfortunately, in the field. Ooh, slide there. Mackey trying to hold on to it. He'll drop some spots here, though. Catrone to the middle, Watkins to the middle, Phillips to the middle, and Mackey going to back out. He might get caught here by Fisher Graham and be able to jump back in line. But now he's working the wrong direction. So from second all the way back to the 13th position on the racetrack because of that slide over in turn 3. Matt Hayden continues to lead. Martino slides off the racetrack but maintains control. Next time by 90 laps to go. Catrone lunges to the inside. The Oscar Mayer Chevrolet wants a trip to the lead. Looking for win number 1 of his career. Contact Beauchamp and Phillips. Velocity to the inside. They're going to crash. Beauchamp's around right in front of Strader. That's going to draw the caution flag. And Beauchamp backs into the outside wall. And that will put us under the yellow for the 4th time. You can kind of see this one starting. Beauchamp got a little bit washed up the racetrack. Velocity jumped to the inside, and Beauchamp bounced right off another car there and went for a slide. Here off turn at number 4. It's Lane Phillips to his outside. You'll see Phillips actually coming down, but Beauchamp is working up. They'll come together. They'll hit. That scrubs speed, and John Velocity wants to carry that momentum. He'll jump to the inside, and it's this second hit between the two cars that is going to knock the 15 out of shape. I think right there he gets the call that he's 3 wide, doesn't expect it, panics a little bit, and gets into the Lane Phillips machine. Another incident for Christian Strader. Likely that he'll have to come fix some more damage as a part of this one as well. And Beauchamp slides back up. Lucky for him, no one else really in danger of getting involved, but he's got the brakes locked down and ends up backing into the outside wall. Mike Martino narrowly misses. And right there you see Beauchamp nose, or rather, back that car into the outside wall. Take one more look at it here. You see the hit there for Strader. Beauchamp left for first into the outside wall. Tank slapper there for the High Rock Chevrolet. Matt Hayden leads into the 4th caution flag of the night ahead of James Catrone, Harold Watkins, Lane Phillips, and Hunter Carlson, the updated top 5. Pettit and Mackey stay out on the racetrack. Everybody else is on pit road. So preface this earlier in the show, these Gen 7 cars will be featured here in a couple of weeks for PGR eSports' biggest event of the summer, the 2nd largest race of the year for PGR eSports, the PGR SummerSlam 499, coming up at the end of July. It'll be July 29th through August 2nd. Still plenty of spots left. As I heard today, there are at least 70 spots left, and we'll see if that total max to 200 gets uncapped for this race. But at least 70 spots still remain. Head over to PGResports.com to register. It is the next-gen cars at Talladega Superspeedway in a nearly a Podium 500 style event. We'll have some heat races, some LCQ races to set the field for Sunday afternoon's 188-lap, 499-mile feature event. Again, the biggest sim racing event of the summer, the 3rd annual PGR SummerSlam 499. Big names already entered. Of course, Malik Ray, the driver of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series for Junior Motorsports, is one of those names that is entered. He is the back-to-back defending champion of that race. Looking to go back to victory lane in that one. Of course, we know the usuals will be there. Guys like Michael Guest and Daniel Falkingham and potentially even Dylan Alt, who ran back in February in the PGR 500, will all make their returns to the series along with all the Super Speedway regulars. We expect to be in that field as well. Possible that we'll see some even bigger names in this year's SummerSlam than we saw in last year's. Again, it will be a really fun event. Keep up with all things PGR Esports. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more leading up to that race. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get to be a part of it again this year. Excited to be one of the primary voices on the microphone for the entire weekend, including getting to do some play-by-play work for the feature on Sunday afternoon, as I did last year in 2025. Got some great voices coming on to help us this year as well, and looking forward to getting the team back together and doing some racing, doing some big-time summer marquee racing at Talladega in a couple of weeks. Again, it's the SummerSlam 499. It's coming up at the end of July. More information on PGResports.com if you want to sign up and put your name in the hat for a big-time payday and a championship belt. Fourth caution has been cleaned off the racetrack. Matt Hayden, James Catrone lead us back to the green flag. As Barney gets the field back under the green flag, lap 44. Martino slides on the restart, gets it collected, and works back up onto the speedway. Ryan Patty fixed some more damage right there on that caution. Still trying to get that car fully fixed. Still almost 90 laps to do it. Again, 87 to go. Still here from Atlanta Motor Speedway as he continues to lead the way, does Matt Hayden. Watkins second, but Catrone is up to the third spot and looks for second here into turn 3. Of Chris Mackey with him on the bottom side. Hunter Carlson dealing with a little bit of blinking again here off turn 4, but he gets it solved for the time being as Phillips jumps around him on the inside. Adam Pettit not far behind him. Inside is Catrone, Mackey, Phillips, then Little. All tightly together, about a half a car length's distance. As Catrone will pull all the way to the door number. He'll pull all the way to the bumper. He'll nose ahead of Watkins here at the banking of turns 1 and 2. James Catrone, Harold Watkins fight for the second spot as Matt Hayden looks in his rearview mirror. Best sight in virtual Atlanta. Everybody behind him racing each other. No challenge to him quite yet. Catrone noses ahead of Watkins here, though, off turn 4. And now we'll try to put a bumper inside of Matt Hayden as they work back to the start-finish line. 85 laps to go with the line, 46 on the board. 2x2 up front. Hayden down to the bottom, kind of straddling the two lanes. He'll work down to that first hash mark, put the left side tires on that first dotted hash. Out back, Eldred Little, almost 3 wide, back around the 10th position. Some close quarters racing, but they get it settled back out to 2x2. Lap 47 on the board, 87 laps, or 84 laps to go, excuse me. Start to slowly approach the halfway mark. And trouble, Matt Hayden, James Catrone, as I was looking at timing, big trouble here, and the leaders are involved. Big crash, Velocity, Bourbonier, Phillips, Strader, Martino. What happened there? As soon as I took a look up at the timing and scoring, some of the data we were getting on the Ryan Patty car, all of a sudden, trouble strikes, and it's big. What in the world happened here? And it's going to be another slide in that same spot. And I wonder, and this is something I was going to talk about under the stage caution just a moment ago. You wonder about the potential of aero effects on the back end spoiler of this Gen 7 race car. And this is something that the community has started to talk about over the last several weeks. You see a number of cars are going to get involved in this. Mackey, Catrone, they're going to hit hard here on the outside wall. Big hits for both right there. Eldred piles in, nowhere for him to go. Lane Phillips has to bail the grass. Boy, Andrew Little, that's the wreck avoidance of the night. Phillips is going to get a little piece there. Bourbonier trying to get out of the way. He collects Strader. Man, Christian Strader cannot catch a break. John Velocity is in this one, last week's winner. But something I was going to talk about a second ago on the stage caution, and something that the community has been starting to talk about a little bit with this Gen 7 race car. As we'll go back and take another look at this caution flag. Something they've been starting to talk about with this Gen 7 race car. I'll show you what I mean right here on the replay. So watch the Watkins car enter the corner. He is right squared up with the Matt Hayden machine. He is going to dip just a little bit out of line right here and work up the racetrack. And you see that when he does, I think what happens is it changes the air on the spoiler of the Matt Hayden car and tweaks that car out of line, and he slides sideways, and it was on from there. Again, I did not see the slide. I was trying to look at some data on the Ryan Patty car. Trying to do a couple of different things at once, and as I did, Matt Hayden spins sideways, and it is a traffic jam over here. This is half the field Second incident tonight where half the field's been collected. Big damage for Catrone, big damage for Mackey, big damage for Eldred. Bourbonier's got significant damage to his car. Had to check on Strader. Beauchamp goes for a spin out back of the incident. The High Rock Chevrolet, he starts to slide into this. Mike Martino piles in late. Again, I wish I could find a little better camera angle to kind of show you exactly what I mean by the air across the Matt Hayden car in terms of where Harold Watkins was running. Let's see. Maybe the drone cam would give me a pretty good idea. That's really not. Watch the hash mark in relation to the Hayden car. Look at Harold Watkins' car strafe up the racetrack, and as soon as he does, the Matt Hayden car snaps, turns left, it's out of his control, and at this point, he's along for the ride. This has been a similar ride that we've seen 3 or 4 cars take in this race already, especially when leading the race and having a car kind of manipulating the air behind them. Again, I almost wonder if perhaps the air is changing on the back of that Matt Hayden car right there, and that's what threw him out of line. Again, I've seen drivers commenting that it takes, a guy moving out of line from a car length behind you for the air to completely change in the car's grip to go awry in the cockpit. I've seen this talked about over the last couple of weeks where it is just an absurd distance back that the air effects can be felt on your rear spoiler in terms of where that guy is running behind you. And I wonder if that's what continues to happen. And now a number of cars have considerable damage. That helps Ryan Patty just a little bit. Cody Eldred had considerable enough damage. He has gone 2 laps down in this incident in the 14 as he is 16th on the racetrack right now. Pace car is down. Harold Watkins and Hunter Carlson, because of that shuffle at the front, are going to maintain the lead of the field, and they'll take the green flag, and the outside's going to stack up because Hunter Carlson continues to have connection problems, and Andrew Little did not want to risk it. Pettit, Mackey, and Beauchamp get the worst end of that, and they go backwards. Up front, Watkins leads. Fisher Graham is second, one of the highest he's run in his short Challenger Cup Series career. Christian Strader is behind them. Then it's Catrone. And Carlson throws it way up the racetrack. Velocity is up here as well. Instead of the top 6, Adam Pettit, highest he's been in a little bit. He is 7th. We got a number of cars with some damage. Now Ryan Patty has gotten that car fixed. The 30 is almost good as new on this run. So keep an eye on him to work back through the field and potentially be in contention for this thing by the time we get towards the end. Still a long ways until that. 79 laps to go. Watkins continues to lead here in turns 3 and 4, but again, this is about the distance that he was from Matt Hayden when Matt Hayden's incident happened over in turns 3 and 4. We'll see if this does anything to his car the same way it did to Hayden's car. If Graham kind of cuts across like he did right there. So far, so good, as Watkins continues to show the way. Inside is Carlson, Catrone, and Matt Hayden, who got the damage fixed and is rocketing back to the front. Fisher Graham, the one that's a little bit out of shape now there in turns 3 and 4. He was a little bit loose. Can't imagine that's the last time we're going to see that kind of incident happen tonight. I think it's going to happen again at some point in the evening. A 3-car length lead here for Watkins over Graham and Carlson. 2 wide the rest of the way through the field as Watkins pulls away just a tad. We'll need a drink of water there as the field works back to turn 1. 75 to go at the line. Here's a lunge to the inside. First time Hunter Carlson's taking a shot for the lead in a while in this series. Catrone almost washes up on Fisher Graham. He's going to force his way in there anyway. That's for the 3rd spot. Well, it was for the 3rd spot. Matt Hayden says, thank you very much. Adam Pettit Chris Mackey working back to the front. Remember, Pettit involved in the incident that ended stage 1. He works back to the front of the field now. Highest he's run since the incident. He's up to 4th. Matt Hayden back to 3rd. He was involved in an incident just 10 laps ago, and he's already back at the front of the field. A motivated Matt Hayden in the Oakley number 5 works back to the front of the field. Carlson still alongside Watkins. This is for the lead in turn 3. 56 laps on the board. Literally, Brandon Beauchamp has lost the draft. 4.5 seconds back in the leaders. Everybody else in this lead draft, including a couple of the lap cars. Brian Cunningham, the only one I currently don't see in this lead pack right now. In the Beauchamp machine. Top 2 continue to run side by side for the race lead. They'll work back to turn 3 once again. The cavalry a little bit deeper for Hunter Carlson this go. Now he can pull even and not nose out for a brief moment there on Watkins' machine. Mackey, though, bails here to turn 1. He'll go 3rd on the outside. That's going to take some wind out of the sails of that bottom line. You see immediately Watkins drives to the outside. It takes all the momentum away from that bottom lane. And Harold Watkins goes right back to the point. 58 on the board, 73 to go. Approaching the halfway mark, about 7-8 laps short of the halfway point. Hayden turns left. Down the hill he comes. He wants to trip back to the lead. He led a moment ago. He crashed, and he's already driven back through the field and noses ahead of Watkins, but the caution flag's out again. And not particularly sure. I'm not getting any kind of data on where this one is. Looks like it's the Beauchamp machine. Oh, man. And he's gone for a second slide. We'll go back really quickly. This appeared to be a single car incident. We'll go back really quickly, see what happened to draw this caution. We'll go back up front. And same spot. So now you start to wonder if it's less about the air on the car and more about there being maybe a bump over in turn 3. Some area that these cars are struggling with. Beauchamp gets it right there, spins, nudges the wall, and it comes to a stop, gets that thing back going as well. He'll go a lap down in the exchange. Leave us with only 14 on the lead lap. Most of the field comes to pit road here. Matt Hayden's going to stay out and re-inherit the lead. Like really anybody else is going to stay out. Actually, Andrew Little is going to join the contingent that stayed out. So is Fisher Graham. As Cody Eldred is going to get the lucky dog and be back to 1 lap down. So Eldred's race is not over yet. Still a ways to go for him. So the rest of the field works down the pit lane. Matt Hayden leads under this, the 6th caution of the night to this point. Tell you real quick what's coming up for PGR eSports course going on right now. We have a number of races going on as we speak. The iRacing Venom Truck Series with Michael Triscaro is going on as we speak over on the PGR Esports main page. That's chase race number 1 for Venom, as Mike has the broadcast over there. iRacing Venom Truck Series at Talladega. Of course, we're live here, and then Jim Bob has the McCullough Motorsports Tuesday Rumble at Talladega, also on the main page for PGR Esports. I believe they're running 87s tonight over there in McCullough Motorsports. Go check out Jim Bob. Some rumblings that maybe he may be joining the staff for the SummerSlam. Getting to call some races with us. Looking forward to that. Of course, a hilarious guy. A fun voice to have in the booth with you as well. Or race, of course, he did the Thursday night race with Michael Triscaro and Matthew Baker last week. It's kind of a debut. And then likely that he'll be joining the crew for the SummerSlam. So Excited to have Jim Bob on board again. Going to be bringing on a couple of more voices to join him and myself as the broadcast team for the SummerSlam 499 event coming up again in about 2.5 weeks from right now. Matt Hayden continues to lead over Andrew Little, Fisher Graham, Chris Mackey, and Adam Pettit. The rest of the top 10, Lane Phillips, Harold Watkins, Christian Schrader, Hunter Carlson, and James Catrone. All right, Patty's car is fixed, but others still dealing with some damage here in the mid stages of this race. Trying to get their cars to where they can compete later on when it gets right to the end of it. So we will try this again. 6 caution cleaned off the speedway. So come back to the Echo Park restart zone. 62 laps off the board. It'll be 63 when we get to the line here. Just a few laps short of the halfway mark from tonight's race in Atlanta. Green flag back in the air. Top 2 on the inside go. Andrew Little didn't quite get the memo. Good start for Hayden and Fisher Graham. And Chris Mackey says, see you later, Andrew Little. He jumps right to the inside, which has been the preferred lane here in turns 1 and 2. As the cars get up to speed, it will work once again. Mackey works to third. Would not be surprised to see him try to dip out to the outside of Fisher Graham. He'll do so here down the back straightaway. Adam Pettit tried to get forward to the 4th position. Couldn't quite do it on the back stretch. Now he will do it here in turn 3. But Andrew Little lunges back to the outside. He wants that spot back, and now he starts rumbling back towards the front. Fisher Graham going to throw a bit of a block on him. So he works back down the line. 64 on the board. It's just 67 laps remain. To the inside, he turned left down the front stretch. Chris Mackey out front in his broadcasted debut here in the Challenger Cup Series. He'll go to the lead in the Carlisle Chevrolet. Looking to be the next David Traylor. Again, Traylor won his first race in the series here at Atlanta just about 5 months ago. Chris Mackey looking to be the next in line to be a rookie that wins here at Atlanta. Matt Hayden looking to take it away from him, though. Adam Pettit would love his first win of the series as well. All 3 of those cars have been very, very good tonight. We're back to turn 3, 66 to go in Atlanta. Hayden up the speedway. He's been pretty loyal to that outside lane. Pettit is running down on the paint, so too is Watkins, although he'll move up here bottom to top off turn 4. Andrew Little is behind him. First time we've seen Watkins here in a bit of a group of laps. Ryan Patty back inside the top 6 for the first time. Hayden turns left. He wants the lead. Off turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Matt Hayden to the inside in the Oakley Chevrolet. Mackey's got the help, though, but the help will bail. Pettit goes to the inside with Hayden. He'll give him a little bit of a push here in turns 3 and 4. Try to nose him out front of the field. When they get back to the start-finish line, it won't be enough. Mackey rockets back to the lead. He's got Watkins as his help now. Past halfway. 64 laps to go at the line. Turn 1, Andrew Little washing up. That's back around Ryan Patty, who breaks into the top 5 for the first time since starting on the pole earlier in this race. Almost 3 wide, back around Fisher Graham. They'll get it sorted out. It's back after the top 10. Back to turn 3, still side by side. Hayden and Mackey. Mackey, does he drift too high? The former champ trying to take him to the middle. Can't do it. He'll just jump in line behind Matt Hayden and choose to push here down the front stretch and into 1. He'll vault that bottom lane forward. Matt Hayden clear back to the lead, but Watkins throws the left elbow out, tries to get to the left rear quarter panel. The Oakley Chevrolet down the back straightaway, can't do it, and Mackey will filter back by him for the second spot for now. Mackey turns left to the banking of turn 3. Chris Mackey, the rookie, to the inside of Hayden down the hill of turn 3, and he goes right back to the lead. Power move Mackey. He wants this one bad, and is making all the right moves, at least as they run right now. Still a long ways to go, though. Just over 60 laps, to be exact. Bit of a second group. That's Beauchamp, Bourbonnier, Eldred, Cunningham, and Martino, all cars that have been damaged at one point or other in the night. Those are the cars that are off the pace right now. Everybody else, all 12 of the other cars in the racetrack, are in this lead draft. I believe the Raso car might be in the lead draft as well. I have to look back there a little bit further. He's not. He's by himself. So 5 cars in that second pack. Raso by himself. 12 in this lead draft. Mackey back bypassed again by Matt Hayden. He'll slide up in front of Ryan Patty. But Chris Mackey continues to keep his name in the conversation as potential upset winner in just this second race of the season. Back to turn 1. Harold Watkins fades to 4th, by the way. Ryan Patty passed him. Highest Ryan Patty has run since he tank slapped the wall back in the opening 15 laps of the race. To the inside. Here's Mackey again. Power move. Not going to quite get the run that he got last time. I don't know if he'll be able to slide up. He's trying. But Matt Hayden hangs on the right side quarter panel and gets back past him. Ryan Patty, where's he going to go? He's going to opt to go top with Matt Hayden. To the inside. Here comes Watkins again, though. He'll provide a boost to that bottom line. Christian Schrader follows him. He's 3rd in the lane now. Andrew Little dives to the bottom. He's 4th in line. Then it's John Velocity after him. Back to turn 3 again. 58 to go at the line. Mackey tried to slide up again. Thought about taking the nose off the Hayden machine. Can't do it. Let's go back to the help of Watkins once again. 58 to go. Matt Hayden continues to lead the way in what has been an uber competitive Atlanta race in race 2 of season 2 2026. Off turn 2 again. Down the back straightaway. Hayden topside with Patty, Catrone, Phillips, and Carlson in line. Caution, though. This one's for Mike Martino. Back behind the lead pack. So it looks like another 1-car incident is going to put us under another caution flag. And it is Martino. Let's go back and see what happened here. Oh, he spotted off turn 4. And is at the same spot. And he's on the bottom side of the racetrack. Loses it once, pulls it back up the track. And the tires get out from under him there. And he spins. Gets the outside wall, and then it's going to spin completely around, which is what's going to draw the caution flag. Matt Hayden leads under yet another caution flag, 7th one of the night to this point. They continue to work under pacing conditions. 7th caution just past the halfway mark. Go back green just before lap 80. Starting to approach the territory where we wouldn't have a green flag pit stop, a 70% fuel load on board these race cars. We're starting to get to that point where we're not going to have a fuel stop. We'll wait and see what that looks like a little later on as well. Going to take a quick break. Step away, be side by side for just a moment while we await the 8th caution, or 7th caution tonight to be cleaned off the racetrack. You won't miss a thing. We'll go side by side. We're back for the restart and the conclusion from Atlanta. More action. The Challenger Cup Series on PGR eSports after this.
Green flag is in the air. We are racing.
3 by 3.
Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. On into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. To the finish. Who gets it in the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
Have created our own drink company. The fastest growing sports drink in history.
We will run! We will run! The Lazy and gentlemen, the panel.
The monkey has prime!
This season, we are hydrated. The official sports drink of the UFC. It's time!
Oh, that's good.
I played a couple of simulators, and this was like very responsive. Especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point. Make you feel like you're really driving. It feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Welcome back to Atlanta, the conclusion of the Challenger Cup Series, and it's racing from Atlanta Motor Speedway as we get ready for another restart. Matt Hayden, Chris Mackey, Harold Watkins have been three of the better cars of the night. Adam Pettit has been up here quite a bit as well. Will one of them capture the victory, or will it be somebody else from the field that goes to victory lane in Atlanta for the first time here in Season 2 2026 on a broadcast? Green flag back in the air. Away we go. Back to turn one. Hayden gets the best restart of the bunch. He'll have Watkins along with him. Mackey's going to jump bottom to top. He'll jump in line with the Watkins machine. It'll be Ryan Patty in clean air for the first time since starting on the pole. For the first time since that, into the defending champ. Wants a piece of the lead down the back straightaway. He's got Christian Strader with him, as both those cars want to go to the front. Catrone takes off the nose of Chris Mackey in turn three. Ryan Patty alongside Matt Hayden for the lead as the field works off turn four. 53 to go at the line. Again, Hayden leads the lap at the line, but Ryan Patty continues to challenge. Watkins in behind him. Bottom side, Patty, Strader, then Lane Phillips, then Andrew Little, then John Velocity. Cars on the top side, it's Hayden, Watkins, Catrone, Mackey, Pettit, and Carlson. Then a gap back to Bourbon here. That's when the second pack starts. For the back of the field, Brandon Beauchamp got his lap back last time out. Or last caution, rather. Cody Eldred still has yet to get his back. Mike Martino's on pit road, and a couple of cars still laps down. Raso and Cunningham. Back to turn one. Matt Hayden up the banking of 1 and 2. Patty is still trying to get alongside him in the 30, the Fast Ass Chevrolet. As just 52 laps remain at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Who is going to get the victory tonight and open up their Season 2 account the same way John Velocity did a week ago? It's all Matt Hayden right now. Hayden's last win, late October at Talladega in the drafting race, vaulted him into a conversation for the championship lead late in that season. Patty got the apron, worked up the racetrack, able to hold on to the race car right in front of Christian Strader. Watkins up to bump trap the Hayden machine, now off into turn three. Top two were clear for a moment. Mackey right up on the back of Catrone. Patty going to try to slide into a gap that was barely there. Catrone crosses up, takes the momentum and jumps to the inside of Ryan Patty. The champ's feeling it all of a sudden here with just 50 to go. He slides into a gap that, again, I did not think was there. Off turn two, Catrone attacks Watkins. That's for second. Field works back down to turn three. Hayden continues to be your leader. Catrone works to the inside of Watkins, trying to get to the left elbow, but trouble behind the leaders again. Greg Bourbonier, Hunter Carlson involved in a multi-car accident. Put us under the 8th caution flag of the night. Man, John Velocity's involved in this. And he may be done. That right front wheel appears to be off the axle. He may be done for the night. Last week's winner, Chicagoland. It's going to start up ahead of him. Looks like with the Hunter Carlson car. Let's see here. Working up the banking of turns 3 and 4. Is it that same notorious spot again? It is. Middle of turns 3 and 4 continues to be the trouble spot for drivers tonight. Carlson gets it this time. Nowhere for Bourbonier to go in the 0-0. He's going to get a piece, and that's going to vault Carlson down the speedway into velocity. Anthony Raso gets involved. Cody Eldred, who is going to get his lap back, I think is going to pile into this anyway. Well, maybe not. Eldred may have gotten through it. Although he gets loose, he may spin at the end of this, which would keep him pinned 1 lap down. And he does. What a tough break for Eldred. That was going to be the break that he needed to get back on the lead lap, be back in this race. But unfortunately for him, he'll still continue to be stuck. 1 lap down. Let's go back and take another look at it. Again, this is up ahead with the Hunter Carlson machine. Again, right in the middle of 3 and 4. These cars like to break loose. And Carlson, nothing he can do. Big hit there for him. Didn't realize at first how big that hit was. And then, oh man, he gets hit from behind. Fisher Graham and Brian Cunningham get involved in this as well. Man, I didn't see that the first time. What a tough break for those cars. One more look at it here from the drone camera. Looked up the bank in turn 3. Right there, Carlson loose. And melee in turn 4. The caution's out again, 8th time tonight. The caution's been displayed. We're on lap 83, 48 laps to go. Here at Atlanta, Matt Hayden continues to lead the way. I'm telling you, Matt Hayden continues to put on a great performance tonight. James Catrone, though, it'll be hard to deny the Oscar Mayer Chevrolet, one of his best opportunities at a win. Again tonight in Atlanta, he is in position inside of the 45 laps to go mark. Harold Watkins, he is 3rd. Then it's Chris Mackey, who continues to be really impressive and quietly. Lane Phillips has worked into the top 5 as well. He'll restart 5th here. Andrew Little is 6th. Followed by Brandon Beauchamp, Adam Pettit, Christian Strader, and Ryan Patty. Round out the top 10. Cody Eldred still pinned a lap down. John Velocity did, in fact, take it to pit road. It appears as if he is still on the racetrack, and we'll wait and see. He is still sitting in his pit box, so we'll wait and see if he does continue tonight's race. But as of now, he is already 2 laps down and shows no signs coming back on the racetrack. Anthony Raso continues to sit on pit road. Big damage to his car. He's now 5 laps down. Mike Martino is 11 laps down, and Brian Cunningham is 14 laps down. The only 4 cars not within a lap of the leaders. Cody Eldred continues to be the only car 1 lap down. He's in the 14th position as they run on the speedway at this moment. Several cars have been in contention in the conversation to be deserving of a win tonight, but who will get the job done? Just over 40 laps to find out. They'll go by quickly as we get back under the green flag. Green flag back in the air from Atlanta. Hayden and Watkins off and running. I believe those two might be working together to a degree tonight. Obviously, when the last lap hits, it's every man for himself. Mackey jumped around Catrone, went right to the bottom. I imagine he'll go right to the top when he gets to Watkins, and he will. He'll take Lane Phillips with him, a duo of rookies on the outside. Chris Mackey has been so good all night long and trying to cash in late in this one. 46 to go in Atlanta. Matt Hayden continues to lead, though. The cars without damage number continues to dwindle as Hayden continues to lead for now, but he'll face a challenge briefly in turn 1. Here comes Mackey. Won't be able to challenge right there off turn 2. It'll wash up the racetrack just a little bit, have to catch it. Does the Carlisle Chevrolet, but he'll work back to the help of Lane Phillips, and now he'll have a big run. He'll lunge to the outside. Again, washes up just a little bit. Gonna have to rely on this run down the hill. He'll cut the nose of Watkins, draft off Matt Hayden. Back to turn one. Watkins back to the inside of Chris Mackey. Adam Pettit vaults through on the inside. He'll now be the second car in line behind Watkins on the inside. Ryan Patty follows him. 44. Going to be 43 to go at the line. Hayden going right to left. Big lunge. Here's Mackey to the inside for the race lead. Chris Mackey. He wants to lead once again. They'll go side by side off turn 4 and back to the start-finish line. Hayden leads the lap, but it's not by much. If that was the finish of the race, it'd be as razor-thin close as it ever could be. Mackey lunges half a car length out front in turn 1. He's got the closer help in Harold Watkins and Adam Pettit and Andrew Little. But Hayden's got the more reliable line off turn 2. And again, Watkins moves bottom to top, and that's a product of how Chris Mackey has raced. He's been impressive, and he's made the right moves, but he's not made a lot of friends. And you saw that right there as Watkins bails on him from the inside to the outside there. He'll go up behind Matt Hayden and help vault him back to the race lead. Now Mackey's up on the bottom is Adam Pettit. Pettit is going to opt to push here into turn 1, not take a split down to the inside. And Mackey will vault back alongside the Oakley Chevrolet as they work back off turn 2 once again. 41 to go at the line. It's a rookie on the inside. It's a veteran on the outside. Hayden has won multiple times in this series. Race for a championship in it. Mackey doesn't even have a couple of starts under his belt, and he slides up across the nose of Hayden and inherits the race lead. Hayden crosses over off turn 4. He wants to lead back. He's got a really strong race car tonight. He'll dive back to the inside of turn 1. Mackey tries to even him up here on the banking of turns 1 and 2. They'll go dead even. Watkins to help for Mackey. Pettit to help for Hayden off turn 2 and back to the back straightaway. 40 laps to go at Atlanta when they come back around, and it's constant non-stop action at the front of the field right now. I'd be curious how many lead changes we've had in this race. It's a lot. I can tell you that much right now. Back to the line. Mackey led that one. A couple of the first laps led of his Challenger Cup Series career. Can really say the same for Adam Pettit. His career not overly long at this point. His first full-time season here, he's looking for win number 1. Hayden back to the inside as Mackey washed up in turns 1 and 2. He'll get the lead back. And Matt Hayden back to position number 1 as they work back on the banking of turns 3 and 4. Again, the field works off turn 4, and it still continues to be Matt Hayden that leads the field as he looks for his first win of 2026. Mackey dives to the inside. Chris Mackey, another slide job, and he's back to the lead. 39 to go, and Chris Mackey and Matt Hayden are throwing haymakers like it's the 12th round of a championship boxing match. Pettit now leads the inside lane. He's got alongside Watkins, so he takes away the opportunity for Watkins to stop down to the racetrack. Mackey got the wall. He pushed tight off turn 4. Matt Hayden takes advantage. Shoots to the inside. He wants to lead back. Watkins choosing to stay up there. I thought he would jump down and help the Matt Hayden machine. Instead, he will stay up, maintain some of his tire life, and push the Mackey machine along as they work side by side down the back straightaway. 37 to go. 3 wide out back almost. Andrew Little took a look to the inside. Would have been one of the more aggressive moves of the night in this late stage of the race as we approach triple digits on the scoring pylon. Matt Hayden back to the inside, power move. Mackey evens him up at the line. It's close, but give the lap to Hayden by about an inch. Mackey works back to the outside. He'll nose ahead here into turn 1. And back up the banking they go. Matt Hayden, another strong drive through the center. Can he slide up? Not quite. As Mackey will drive back alongside him. "36 laps to go. Seems like an eternity in this race, considering the action we're having right now. These guys are racing like it's lap 130. There's still a long way to go. A quarter of the race, or a little under a quarter of the race distance left to run still. Mackey, Hayden continue to be side by side. There's been no winner of this battle quite yet. Hayden washes up. Mackey side drafts, but now he washes up on the exit of the corner. Almost got the wall. Hayden cuts that red line, and that actually may have slowed him down just a little bit. Mackey's going to nose ahead and put half his car out front of the field. May have slowed Hayden down just a little bit. Off turn 2, only 4 cars on the inside. Hayden, Pettit, Little, and Schrader. Everybody else running the outside lane for the most part. Leaders continue to be side by side. Hayden on the inside, Mackey on the outside. Dead heat between the two, and at the line, that's not going to change. Mackey led the lap, but it was by about 2/100ths of a second. One of the bigger pushes there from Watkins into turn one on Mackey's back bumper, but the same can be said for Pettit on the bottom with Matt Hayden. Schrader bails. He goes to the top. Only 3 cars bottom side now. And Chris Mackey pokes the car back out in clean air. The undisputed leader, but only for a moment. Hayden trying to drive back alongside him. He will not. And Chris Mackey, with 33 to go, fully drives back to the lead now. Does he think about throwing a block on Matt Hayden here? No, he'll let him drive right back to the inside. Not quite the left side yet. And Hayden bails to the top. Mackey unopposed for the race lead at the front of the field. Hayden tied back to the inside here in turn 3. Took a peek. Perhaps just to get a little bit of clean air. As he'll run off turn 4 again. 32 to go at Atlanta. Closing in on the finish of the Challenger Cup Series, and it's race 2 of season 2, 2026. Pettit shoots back to the inside. A new helper looking to come with him. Hayden is coming to pit road. We are going to have to pit here. And Matt Hayden's going to make his stop here with 32 to go. We are going to have to pit. 32 to go. Lap 99 on the board. That leaves just a few cars out on the speedway. Hayden, Beauchamp both pit. Mr. Graham has been sitting on pit road for a while now as well. Chris Mackey maintains the lead. Oh, Catrone almost got turned as he and Andrew Little came together in turns 3 and 4. That was almost calamity, and that would have trapped Matt Hayden a lap down. Matt Hayden continues to sit on pit road. He lost, I think, a couple of laps there. He only lost 1. Nobody else coming to pit road yet. He has 30 laps remain. Watkins looked for the lead, but Mackey maintains for now. .29 to go. Field is singled out. Here are the cars yet to pit. Mackey, Watkins, Pettit, Phillips, Patty, Schrader, Catrone, Bourbonier, Little, Carlson. The cars who have yet to pit. They're all kind of in this long stringing line all the way back to the 2 of Carlson. We will likely have to make a pit stop at some point in this race. Chris Mackey continues to lead for now. 28 laps to go at Atlanta. Chris Mackey, just over 40 miles away from his first career victory in this series. Adam Pettit, Lane Phillips, also in that conversation. So is James Catrone. So is Greg Bourbonier. Watkins, Patty, Schrader, they've all won in this series. So is Andrew Little. They've all won in this series before. Pettit to the inside. He wants the second spot from Watkins. He'll get it on the exit of turn 2. Does he have enough to slide up? No, he's going to stay right where he's at. He'll be passed back by Watkins and probably by Lane Phillips as well. These guys have not yet come to pit road. Again, at this point, with Matt Hayden coming to pit road right there, we do fully expect the rest of the field to have to come down pit road at some point here in the final 26 laps. Watkins leans to the outside. He caught Mackey sleeping. And Harold Watkins is going to shuffle Mackey out of line. Mackey tight side draft a little bit there off turn 2, but realizes now he's going to have some help, but he'll get it. Adam Pettit to the inside and back to 2x2 up front. Because he had the tires left at the bottom, though, to be able to make this work. James Catrone back into the picture. He was looking for win number 1. By the way, Matt Hayden is losing time to the leaders. He has lost 2 seconds since he came to pit road. Mackey back to the lead, but the caution flag's out. It's Beauchamp again off turn 4. And Matt Hayden may be involved as well. And Matt Hayden may have just towed his car to the garage area. One of the dominant cars of the night is done. On lap, just short of lap 110. Unbelievable. Let's see what happened here. Oh my goodness. Matt Hayden and Brandon Beauchamp. And it's the same spot. It's a slide for Matt Hayden. Same spot he did it earlier. Beauchamp, he's in the binders. There's fire out of the pipes. You can see he's in the brakes. There's nothing he can do. And Hayden, trying to save the car, overcorrects. Big hit to the outside wall. And of course, after fixing the damage earlier with a fast repair, no path to fixing that car. And just a brutal turn of events for the 5 of Matt Hayden as he is out of tonight's race, just short of 20 laps to go. See here, the hit for Matt Hayden, for Beauchamp. Puts us under a late caution. Hunter Carlson stays out on the 9th caution of the night. And will inherit the lead as everyone else comes to pit road, I would imagine, to put on their last set of tires. You wonder if Hunter Carlson is already out of tires, only 2 extra sets. You wonder if perhaps he had already used those sets and is now just forced to stay out and hope for the best here on this late race restart. Everybody else, we assume, had at least 1 set of tires left. It'll be pretty obvious here who's got those tires left. Updated top running cars off pit road. Hunter Carlson is first. Chris Mackey is second. Harold Watkins is third. Adam Pettit is fourth. And Lane Phillips is fifth. Rest of the top 10, Ryan Patty, James Catrone, Andrew Little, Christian Schrader, and Greg Bourbonier. Cody Eldred is 11th. He's back on the lead lap, I think, in the 14. He may not be. I thought he was. Wait and see here in a second. Matt Hayden is out of tonight's race, currently in the 12th spot, but he'll lose that spot to Anthony Raso before this race ends. Brandon Beauchamp, Fisher Graham continue to sit on pit road fixing damage. Brian Cunningham is about 24 laps down. John Velasquez and Mike Martino both call it a race. They'll finish 17th and 18th. So we'll reset it here. Hunter Carlson definitely on old tires. I think Chris Mackey might be as well. We'll reset. It is going to be a late race restart. Generally late race. We're on lap 109. It'll be 21 to go. Hunter Carlson, Chris Mackey on the front row. And again, only about 10 cars that don't have any kind of damage at this point. Cody Eldred continues to sit on pit road, so unsure what the problem is with the Eldred car, but I believe he's lost a lap again, so thought he was going to get his lap back right there. Turns out he actually did get the lap back. Apologies. Came back to top off. He will rejoin the field here off turn 2 and be back on the lead lap. So 11 cars without damage, back to Eldred. Everybody else has had some form of incident tonight, including the most recent one. Matt Hayden, one of the most dominant cars of the night, out with 20 laps to go. Plenty of cars still in contention, though. Hunter Carlson wants his first win since Kansas last year. Mackey, Pettit want their first in their careers. Same for Lane Phillips. Watkins and Patty want to win another one. Same with Andrew Little. James Catrone wants win number 1. Strader wants back-to-back, and Bourbonier wants his first. And here we go. Carlson clear. Mackey jumps down. Watkins rolls to third. Mackey going to try to cover this move by Harold Watkins. Watkins going to turn left. I would not imagine he would push the 9, but for now he's going to stay in line. Those two have not been too well acquainted here in this race. But for now, they will play buddy-buddy until this race gets late. And at the line, Carlson surrenders the lead. And with 20 laps to go, it is again Chris Mackey that works back out in front of the field, trying to complete the underdog story. Off turn 2, Mackey continues to lead over Watkins. Then Pettit was going to roll all the way to third. As the inside stacks up behind the Carlson machine, Phillips has to bail. Stacks up that bottom lane even more. Pettit to the inside of Watkins. That's for second. Remember how good Pettit was in stage 1 prior to the caution. Almost trouble. Little and Phillips come together, but both cars save it. Curious the damage on the 68. For now, he's still up to speed. 19 to go. No pit stop needed now. Watkins may lean to the inside and try to lead this race. He leans, but thinks better of it. Maintains the second spot for now. Ryan Patty bursts through onto the scene. He's to the inside of Watkins for second. You want to talk about spoiling the party? That's what Ryan Patty would do tonight. A number of great storylines on the line tonight. Ryan Patty looking to continue on his incredible Challenger Cup Series career. Season 2 champion last year, 12 career victories, including 8 last season on route to that championship. Looking to add number 13 to his resume and his first drafting track win in Atlanta. He's all the way to second. He's cleared Harold Watkins. And now, if you're Chris Mackey with 17 to go in Atlanta, you look in your rearview mirror, and it's the top 2 finishers in points from last season in the rearview. The champ and the runner-up in the rearview of the rookie. Pettit shoots the inside again. He'll get past Watkins. He'll slide up in line, so don't count out the liquid death Ford Mustang quite yet. He's actually going to try for 2 for 1 here. He's going to try for second on Ryan Patty back to turn 1. I don't know if he'll make this move happen. He wants 3 for 1. He gets all the way to the inside of the leader. Adam Pettit trying to make a power move to go to the lead. He wants his first win. Christian Strader, a winner from Sonoma a couple of weeks ago, wants to win 2 out of 3 and put his first full-time win back on his resume. He's a guy that's won here before in this series last year in February. Pettit and Mackey alongside one another, 15 to go. Crunch time in Atlanta. Bourbonier washes up. Where did he come from? Greg Bourbonier slipped right under my nose. He's inside the top 6. Back to the line. Adam Pettit beaten out to that line by Chris Mackey right there. At least for a second. Up the banking and off turn 2. Again, the intensity will only ramp up from here on out. The closing stages of this race from Atlanta, one that has lived up to the billing of this incredible reconfigured racetrack. Mackey back to the outside. He'll power ahead by half a car length. Pettit works up, slides just a little bit. That was the danger spot for him earlier at the end of stage 1 when he crashed to end the stage. But he saves the car that time. Back to turn 1. Mackey, Pettit side by side for the race lead. Patty and Strader nowhere to go for either of those cars right now. Not really wanting to put a bonsai move anywhere on this field. 2x2, 10 cars for the win in Atlanta. Cody Eldridge dropped off the pack. He's nearly 11 seconds back. Pettit washed up the racetrack, still washing up the racetrack. Slides into the gap behind Mackey in front of Patty. Patty gonna cut him a break, at least I thought he was going to. Contact there on the entrance to turn 1. 12 to go. And Patty's gonna get split 3 wide. Watkins to the center. And trouble out back. Carlson gets turned. Catrone, Phillips around. I didn't think it was going to draw the caution, but it does. Carlson, Phillips, Catrone, or rather Carlson. And Phillips involved in that one. Put us under the caution flag for, I believe, the 10th time tonight. Catrone is involved. Kind of saw it happen live out back of the leaders. Oh, it's a slide right there from Carlson. He got loose this time on the other end of the speedway. He gets Catrone. Catrone noses into the wall. Don't believe that Catrone has a fast repair. That may be his night well and over with. Then Carlson comes back down in the overcorrect, gets into Lane Phillips. Both of those cars go down. Phillips is going to tank slap the wall, which kicks the Carlson machine all the way around and draws the caution flag just outside of 10 laps to go in this one. See the slide here. It's actually a great angle of it here. That little snap right there. He tries to correct. Gets into Catrone. It's on from there. And decent hit for Phillips into the wall and Carlson into the inside wall as well. James Catrone will come to pit road. Fix some damage. So 10th caution of the night is out. Chris Mackey and Adam Pettit both looking for their first career victories. Run 1-2 right now as they run on the speedway. And it'll be inside of 10 laps to go. In fact, when we go back green, it'll be just 8 laps remaining here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. This one's been a fun one. Obviously, a lot of cautions, more than we're used to in this series, but despite that, a fun race to watch. This has been an electric one, especially at the front. Big moves all around. You take runs by yourself, make something happen. It's been really entertaining to watch these guys duke it out. And now 2 of the best cars tonight, Chris Mackey and Adam Pettit, are going to be mano-a-mano for the victory. With some underdog picks behind them, one specifically, obviously Christian Strader, a winner from Sonoma a couple of weeks ago and a winner multiple times in this series. We know what Harold Watkins can do, Ryan Patty, Andrew Little. But Greg Bourbonnier, P4 in the Miller Lite Camry. He's finished on the podium here twice. He has yet to get a victory in this series. Tonight probably his best opportunity. He'll restart 4th with a chance if one of these guys slips up in front of him or if they get too busy with each other and end up coming together, Greg Bourbonnier could be in prime position to pick up an upset victory, and one that's welcome. Greg Bourbonnier always shows up and always continues to find ways to improve every single week. He's gotten faster. The speed was there. He needed one to go his way. Tonight has gone his way. We'll see if he can finish the job. Of course, Mackey and Pettit going to be on the front row for this restart. James Catrone's got damage. He's 10th. Imagine he's not going to be a huge part of this race. Lane Phillips, I believe, has damage as well in the 4. Well, actually, it does not appear as if he's got any visual damage. So he may be fully fixed. I think Cody Eldred is also fully fixed. So it should be 9 cars that are competing for the victory. Hunter Carlson's gone to the garage area and will be credited with 11th as of right now. 8 laps to go. Will it be a rookie capturing win number 1, or will one of the veterans steal the show from the Peach State? Green flag. Pettit doesn't go. Mackey got a great start. So did Strader and Patty behind him. And Pettit's now behind the 8 ball. He'll be 4th, working up the banking of turn 1. He'll be 5th as Andrew Little works by him as well. Trouble up through the gears. You wonder if he started in the wrong gear. Cody Eldred, he also wants win number 1. Mackey's going to get ditched here off turn 2. Strader, 3 wide. Here comes Ryan Patty. The champ hangs both of them in the wind, and he takes the lead to turn 3. Chris Mackey got a rebound here. He's still outside of 3 wide. Eldred to the inside, Strader in the middle. Mackey is topside. Pettit's going to go with Strader in the center. It's Patty, Andrew Little, and then Cody Eldred, who was so close to win number 1 last season a couple of different times. Michigan, Charlotte, all races that come to mind, the drafting tracks. Eldred now sees the leaders. With 7 to go, he can see a checkered flag, and he's on fresher tires. He's to the inside. Trying to hold on to that race car. He'll get second here from Andrew Little. Christian Schrader goes with him. Schrader looks to the inside. He'll give Cody Eldred a break for now. Ryan Patty's the leaders. They are still 3 wide. Back around Phillips, Mackey, and Pettit. They get it settled for the most part now. Now it's 3 wide with Mackey, Watkins, and Bourbonier. It'll get settled to 2 wide. And all of a sudden, as Schrader washes up, Cody Eldred is one-on-one with the champ. He wants his first win. A veteran of the Challenger Cup Series. Same as Bourbonier, who also does not yet have a win. 5 laps to go. Eldred to the inside. This is the move for the lead. He has no help. Schrader not going with him. Schrader for now going with Patty. Now he'll ditch Patty. He'll go with Eldred. Does he split to the center? Contact Patty and Eldred down the backstretch. They door bang. Pettit outside. He rides the rim. Oh, but they're going to hit the fence. Andrew Little's in the wall. Watkins are almost 4 wide with Mackey and company. They all keep it going. Cody Eldred leads back to the start-finish line. 4 laps to go. 3 laps until this one's official. Remember, Eldred and Patty are teammates. Does Patty suffice to push Eldred to his first win, or does he steal away the glory himself? Almost trouble. Patty gets into Schrader. Schrader was sideways and saves it. Lane Phillips. Where did he come from? Greg Bourbonier is with him. Mackey trying to slide up, trying to force his way in. Watkins forced his way through the center on Pettit. Further back, he's up to 6th. Here comes Chris Mackey as Ryan Patty hangs Eldred in the win, and he's got the lead. Mackey up the racetrack. Does he think about 3 wide here? Schrader's loose, all kinds of all over the place. As Patty breaks the draft down the backstretch and back to turn 3. It's 2 to go at the line. Do we make it back? 2 to go at the line. Patty blocks Schrader all the way to the line at the bottom of the racetrack. Schrader to the inside. He wants the lead. When they get back, they'll see the white flag if they can make it back in one piece. Eldred, where does he go here? Contact again, Patty and Schrader. Where does Chris Mackey go in this? Does he throw it to the fence here? Patty and Schrader side by side. Off turn 4. They're going to make it back. White flag is up. 1 lap to go in Atlanta. Who's got the bonsai move out back? Cody Eldred, you got to go for it here. These two are going to make some contact trouble. Adam Pettit behind the leader spins. Who goes 3 wide here down the backstretch? Does anybody get a run? Does anybody have anything they can do? Mackey throws it to the bottom of the red line. 3 wide. Shades of Sunday. He makes the Bubba Wallace dive to the inside. It's a drag race. 3 wide, all the way to the stripe. At the line, the champ wins it. Ryan Patty steals it from all of them at the line and wins in Atlanta. We've had some great finishes in this series. We've had the pleasure of seeing a number of incredible finishes to races, but that might be the best one. An all-time finish. Ryan Patty. Your winner at the line. And he'll do the burnouts. As Patty does the Polish victory lap, we'll take a look at the results. Start to try to talk to your top three in what was an unbelievable race. From Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Challenger Cup Series, Ryan Patty by 35 1/1000ths of a second gets the job done. His 13th career Challenger Cup Series win. His first since way back at, I wanted to say Michigan, but it's even further back than that. It's been a little while by Ryan Patty's standards since we've seen him go to victory lane, but goes to victory lane tonight. And so he'll get the trip to victory lane. Christian Strader, the middle of that three-wide finish. A tough result in terms of not getting the win, but again, Strader back to full-time action this year. He'll have plenty of chances to go to victory lane. A good finish for him tonight on the drafting track. And then, again, I know it's not a victory, and we're going to talk to Chris Mackey here in just a second, but for Chris Mackey, you can't say enough about that effort. And again, it's stunning to me how much the move down the backstretch mirrored Bubba Wallace's move back on Sunday. Now, Mackey did not go below the double red line down there at the bottom of the racetrack. He maintained his position and managed to finish third, but goodness, what a run for Chris Mackey in the third position. Cody Eldred fourth, another heartbreaker for him as he led with just 5 laps to go in this race. Harold Watkins recovers, finished fifth. Another good finish here for Greg Bourbonier, who continues to be really good here in Atlanta. Lane Phillips in his broadcasted debut, he goes 7th. Andrew Little in 8th. Adam Pettit, what could have been for the 49, he goes 9th tonight. James Catrone in 10th. Anthony Raso in 11th. Brandon Beauchamp 12th. Hunter Carlson 13th. Brian Cunningham 14th. And Matt Hayden finishes in 15th tonight. Fisher Graham 16th. John Velocity in 17th. And Mike Martino in the 18th and final position. We'll get into some post-race interviews now. And where else to start? But then the driver of the 9, Chris Mackey. And again, in his rookie campaign in this series, and comes out tonight and throws all of his cards on the table and says, look, I'm not here to race scared. I'm not here to have a learning curve. I'm here to compete, and I'm here to compete now. And that's exactly what he did for the entire 130 laps tonight. And for a brief moment, and although he did not get back to the line first, for a brief moment, it looked like he might get to victory lane. It comes up a little bit short, but he certainly puts the field on notice tonight. Chris Mackey, third place finisher tonight from Atlanta. Chris, it's Dawson in the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you come into your rookie campaign in this series, and as I was just talking about a second ago, there's no learning curve for you. You go out and lead a bunch of laps, and then the bonsai move at the end, almost coming away with a victory here in one of your first starts in the series. You know, first off, I guess before we get into the race, you know, how fun was a night like tonight? To get in to compete with these guys, lead a bunch of laps, be in contention, how fun was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun, man. This is my hometown track, and I've got a few wins here, so I really I push a little harder here. Like, most people that know me know that bonsai move into turn 3, the last lap, that's not normally something I would do. I'm kind of very conservative, just kind of point my way through seasons and, you know, take finishes, but saw the opportunity there at the end, hometown, leading laps. I was kind of mad that I gave start the final restart in the lead and gave up the lead before we even came back around. So kind of the stick you draw here, though, if you get a good restart, which I did, which I should have just dragged and not let him get as big of a run, but, you know, that it happens. So, yeah, super fun, awesome race. I mean, the cars, you actually had to drive it. Like, it's how I imagine, you know, the real race Sunday night, the first stage when it got spread out and, you know, people were really having handling problems. It's kind of how I imagine it felt like. I mean, I've never had to lift as much. I've never had to steer overcorrect and save the car as much. I mean, it was a blast.
Well, it feels like you put the field on notice tonight again in your rookie campaign in this series, and to come across the line, of course, the defending champion wins the race. Christian Strader's got a number of wins in this series. You're racing around Harold Watkins. He's a guy who's won 15 times in this series. So a number of the top drivers, you're getting to be around them, and I feel like you put guys on notice tonight. So going into the rest of the season, a race like this, what does it do for your confidence and for your momentum as we kind of get into the meat of this second season of this year?
I mean, it feels good. It definitely helps the confidence. You know, I would say I think the opener kind of helped a little more, being that was on like a true mile and a half. We actually got out led laps there, had, you know, a top, well, we finished 6th, man. Well, I was in the top 5 most of the race last week, but I think that one did a little more confidence just because you're actually testing your speed and ability. You know, here, super speedway, everything kind of is just up in the air. I mean, definitely a boost of confidence, but I know that, you know, we got a long way to go. Patty's tough. I race with Patty on Sundays, and he's going to be tough to beat, and a few of the other ones here are quick. So we'll just keep showing up, doing what we got to do, and hopefully, you know, come away with a few wins by the end of the season.
Well, third for you tonight in Atlanta, again following up with a top 6 effort last week in Chicagoland. So before we let you go and get ready for the race next week and the rest of the season, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the team, Adrenaline Racing. Lane Phillips was in the field tonight. Zach was out. Our other teammates, Nathan Brzezowski and John McNeil, they're always great. Jeffrey Petty. They're always great helping get prepared for races and supporting and you know, being there for the team. And shout out to my fiance back at home for, you know, letting me come in here and spend my 10:30 on a Tuesday night racing instead of, you know, watching a movie or doing something like that. So she's awesome. And then, you know, shout out to league owners and you for broadcasting, man. Glad to be here.
And what a great run it was. Congratulations on the third place effort tonight. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, man.
Chris Mackey, third tonight, an incredible broadcasted debut. You heard him say he finished 6th last week in Chicagoland, but tonight, a third place effort, which he led a bunch of laps. You heard him say he led laps last week too. So for Mackey, an impressive run. It's good for third tonight. The middle of the 3-wide finish. The Sonoma winner 2 weeks ago. He's back to full-time action in this series, and he did not miss a beat at Atlanta. Led laps tonight, finishes second. It's Christian Strader, and the newly rebranded number 11. Tonight at Atlanta, he finishes runner-up. Christian, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, Dawson?
Well, not too much. Look, your return to full-time action, and you get thrust in one of the best finishes we've ever seen in this series. You know, obviously, coming back to full-time action, Atlanta's second up on the schedule, just like it is in February. You know, obviously, a drafting track race, you could say what you want about, you know, what it does for the full season. But you got out, you led laps, you kind of endured through some chaos as well. Take me through an up and down night and what you're feeling in that roller coaster finish we just saw at the end of that race.
Oh, man. First off, I'm thrilled right now. I mean, I didn't win, but that was so much fun. That was a blast to race with Ryan and Chris there and Cody. I mean, that was a blast to do. I mean, the race was crazy. I thought it was hectic. I mean, I was involved in like a million wrecks at the beginning of the race. I really didn't know how that was going to play out. And I mean, I just wanted to try to find some track position. I felt like track position was pretty important, especially early in the race. I thought the track position was a lot more important earlier in the race. I think at the end, you kind of had some more options to move around. Also, just be more aggressive. I mean, nobody wanted to be the guy that was going to make it 3 wide, make some big moves, especially with how slick it was. I know that obviously Atlanta's a drafting track, but I really feel like that this is like, with this style of racing and this car and with the increased horsepower and everything, it's not just really a drafting track. I mean, there's a lot of handling that goes into it. Of course, you got to make the right choices. You got to make the right moves at the right times with the pack style racing. But I really feel like it is a good indicator of kind of like what the season's gonna do, how people are gonna play out. Because I mean, if you look at it there at the end, I mean, you take some of the fast cars and they all end up at the front there at the end there. So I really think a lot of it comes down to that this is a pretty good indicator of how the season's gonna go. I think it's gonna be hard. I definitely think it's gonna be a tough season. There's gonna be a lot of battles. I mean, it's great doing it. Ryan Race is super respectful. Obviously we were banging doors and trading paint and everything like that. But I feel like at a certain level you should be doing that, and it should be expected, and it's fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think you look at it. We didn't wreck any cars at the end there, and I'm just thrilled. I'm super thrilled with how that race ended up. That finish was so much fun.
Again, P2 and a picturesque finish to say the absolute least. And now we start to look forward. Again, you come back to the series. You told us a couple weeks ago you're actually coming back on Tuesdays now. And we look forward. Again, Wilkesboro, Indianapolis, Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, back to the drafting track, Daytona. There's places on the schedule coming up. Darlington, Gateway, places that we know you're going to have some speed. kind of how do you feel about this season, the way it plays out for you in terms of potentially chasing a championship once again here in season 2?
I really like the second half of the schedule as we kind of move later in the schedule, and we're really going to be chasing after the championship trophy and everything like that. I think those tracks suit me really well. Going to be a couple tough weeks here. Short track racing is probably, I would say, something that isn't my strongest. But I mean, we go to some good places for me too. Indy, I really love that oval. And then also New Hampshire. New Hampshire's fun. I know Matt's going to be quick there, and I think that's going to be probably the guy to beat. And it's going to be some tough sledding there. Hopefully with Wilkesboro and Richmond and such, try to get some clean races. Come out with good points. Maybe find some speed, and the main thing is if we get some green flag runs, I really think that kind of plays into my favor there. Especially at Richmond where it's a little bit older of a surface and there's some tire wear and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to the end of the schedule with Darlington, Gateway. We go to some of the mile and a halves at like Las Vegas, Homestead, and then the next couple weeks, I think that's going to be the true test. And I think I'm up for that challenge. I'm really looking forward to going to those tracks and racing hard, learning some things, and trying to kind of get out front and maybe try to get a little bit of a points lead at some point here. I would like to do that. It's always a little bit easier when you're controlling some things, especially the races, but also the points. I would like to try to maybe make up some ground on the leader there, and hopefully score some finishes and maybe some wins and try to move myself up front.
Well, second, a good way to do just that. A couple of top threes for you in the last 3 weeks, including second in tonight's wild finish from Atlanta. So before we let you go and start to get ready for Wilkesboro next Tuesday night, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Andrew and Rusty and Matt and everybody that puts everything together. Shout out to you always coming out here and doing a good job in the booth. And I guess we'll shout out Tier 1 setups tonight. It was on my car tonight. I accidentally forgot to go ahead and get everything changed up for Tuesday and put my actual number on there. So we'll say thank you to them, and of course Reese's Cups. Got to say thank you to Reese's Cups. Hopefully I'll remember to put that back on the car next week, and we'll have the yellow 29 back out there.
Christian, thanks for the time. Congratulations on a second place run for you tonight. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll see you next week at North Wilkesboro.
Appreciate it, man. Hopefully I'll see you next week.
Christian Strader, second for him tonight. That leads us to the man in Victory Lane. And it's time for another Victory Lane interview. This guy's gotten used to winning in this series. Career win number 13 for Ryan Patty comes tonight at Atlanta at a drafting track. And coming into tonight, this was really the only discipline that he had not yet won at in this series. Had always had something go wrong late in these races, but tonight he has it all go right for him in one of the wildest finishes we will ever see in this series. Talk to him about that, and we'll talk to him about looking forward to defending the crown here in Season 2. The defending champion, Ryan Patty, in Victory Lane for the first time in Season 2, and for the 9th time in 2026. Ryan, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Sure do. How we doing, Dawson?
Not too bad. Look, a lot happened in tonight's race. We'll get to the beginning portions of this race first. But let's talk about the finish, one of the wildest finishes we've ever seen in this series. It's your first win on a drafting track. To do it in that fashion, take me through an exciting last few laps here at Atlanta.
Yeah, really, I knew coming into this race that to be in position to win this thing, you got to be in position, right? So that means being in the top 5, having, first off, enough fuel to get to the end, and then having fresh enough tires to be able to hang on to it and put a charge on to either pass for the lead at the end there or hold off whoever's going to try to come get it from you. So as you saw, it was pretty much a fist fight between 4 or 5 of us there. Me and my teammate Cody. I feel bad. Obviously he's been pressing so hard for his first win there. And I wanted to take any opportunity to help him win there, but it's so tough when you try to push somebody and let off to push them forward. You're really costing yourself a lot of momentum, and probably put you both in jeopardy. So had to take every run I possibly could, and thankfully was able to get to the lead there at the very end, and trade some haymakers with Christian Strader. Racing with one of the best in the league. Nothing but respect there. And, talk to him after the race goes both ways. We both had a blast there, trading blows and trying to get a leg up on each other. But then once we came around and all of a sudden Chris Mackey came out of nowhere from the top ropes and made it 3 wide there through 3 and 4. I thought, either we're all going to die or we're going to have a really solid photo finish 3 wide. And, that's what it turned out to be. And thankfully, being on the top side with that extra momentum was really was the place to be. And, beat him by about a nose.
So obviously a little extra horsepower tonight. The car looked hard to drive, where some of the best in the series had problems with grip. And we saw multiple drivers out front of the field have problems with the grip under the race car and kind of half spin, especially over in turns 3 and 4. What did the car feel like inside the cockpit? Kind of what went into some of the grip issues we saw tonight on the racetrack?
Yeah, it's a really good point. I don't think anyone that ran this race has run a full-out Cup Series race with the plus 10% horsepower at this track, and so there's a lot of unpredictability. So once we took the green, obviously I got the pole, was running out front trying to protect the car, protect the tires, and I think it was after about 10-15 laps, the rear end just really started stepping around, most notably off of 2 and into 3. So really, when you get on the backstretch or enter the third turn there. So unfortunately for me, did not predict it, and when I got into 3, car started sliding up the track, coming around, got into the wall, damaged the vehicle a little bit, brought out the caution, and pretty much spent the next 40, 50 laps getting the car fixed. I didn't want to burn a fast repair because I knew that we probably needed it at the end in case everyone got wadded up, because at that point I needed to salvage as many points as I could, especially after last week. And yeah, man, it was really just a balance the whole race of not going full throttle even though you wanted to maintain position and protecting those rear tires. But then once we got to the last 5 laps, it was pretty much all out. I was talking to Strader and Mackey, and I don't think either of us were lifting at all the last 5 laps there, and we were just back steering the car up the track in turns 3 and turn 2. So it was a lot of fun. Really, really a blast to drive. I would love to do it again now, knowing what it feels like. I think the field would probably have a lot better luck with it. Probably see fewer yellows if we come back here and do this again.
Well, now we go forward from here again, defending the crown as the Season 1 champion. Of course, we have that full season championship coming up later on in the year as well. So kind of starting to look forward to that. We've got a number of new players in the field that have already announced their presence in this series after the first week at Chicagoland last week. Of course, tonight with another podium finish for a guy like Chris Mackey. The new drivers coming into the series obviously are going to make the approach a little bit different to defending the championship. How has that mindset changed now after 2 races, now that you've seen some of the impressive rookies take to the racetrack?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it more enjoyable, to be honest with you. I mean, this is a fun league already, and then when you add some extra guys that are really fast and put the pressure on to run up front, it's the league really carries through to its namesake, and it becomes a real challenge, right, for Challenger racing. Strader's been fast every time he's been here. Now he's run full time, which is great. Harold Watkins has been a thorn in my side from a competitive standpoint because he's just always there and you just can't seem to get away from him. Mackey's a new guy. I raced with him in another league, really, really fast. Zach Lockett was here last week, and I believe he's going to be running regularly. Might even be the fastest of us all. So it's going to be a slugfest the rest of the season. So for those that watch and those that compete, stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And boy, tonight was a lot of fun, especially the last 9 laps of this race. One of the most exciting finishes we've ever seen. And it gives you win number 9 of 2026, the 13th win of your Challenger Cup Series career here in Atlanta tonight. So before we let you go and get ready for Wilkesboro next week, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thanks to you, obviously, for coming out every time that you can to broadcast this league. It just boosts Challenger racing up a little bit more, and I know everyone really enjoys going back and watching this. I know my family watches it. It's really a fun show. So I appreciate what you do here to broadcast this league, and again, all the admins that put this on. I know Rusty wasn't here tonight. Looks like he was in the chats. So we appreciate everything that he does. Harold Watkins behind the scenes, setting up the sessions, and everything else that goes into the points. And Andrew Little, I think he actually printed up trophies, so we're gonna see a cool Challenger Racing trophy coming my way, which I'm pretty excited about. So I really appreciate everything that they do. Shout out to Cody Eldred, great run tonight. a solid top 5. That win's coming, buddy. I know you're going to get it. And last but not least, to my my wife and daughter, I love you guys. Thanks for all the support, and see you in a few minutes.
Ryan, thanks for the time. Congratulations on another victory tonight in Atlanta. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you next week in North Wilkesboro.
Sounds good. We'll see you there. Take care.
Ryan Patty, winner tonight from Atlanta, his first drafting track win as a member of the Challenger Cup Series, comes tonight in a wild race and an even wilder finish. Let's go back. We're going to watch the white flag lap one more time before we get out of here tonight and start to get ready for North Wilkesboro next week. I want to go back and watch the entire white flag lap because I want you to watch Chris Mackey in the number 9 machine right here as they're going to come off of turn number 2, and watch Mackey here as the field works off turn 2. Watch him make this bonsai move down the bottom of the racetrack. He gets a big run right here and realizes his only play is to sling that car 3 wide. And then again, shades of multiple races. 3 different races have had a 3 wide finish in the NASCAR Cup Series at the new reconfigured Atlanta. And this one is no different as they worked off of turn number 4 and came back to the start finish line. And you want a picturesque NASCAR style finish, you're not going to get one much better than this. Mackey inside, Schrader middle, Patty top, and he uses that rail run to get all the way back to the start finish line and win tonight at Atlanta. We'll show you the margin of victory as Ryan Patty comes away with a win. Again, one of the most exciting finishes we have ever seen in the Challenger Cup Series. And there is your margin of victory. 6 cars under a blanket at the checkered flag from Atlanta. It's going to just about do it from us here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's get you set for the week to come here in PGR eSports and also what's to come next week for the Challenger Cup Series. Of course, right now, Venom Truck Series still on the air. MMS Tuesday Rumble still on the air as well, both on the main PGR eSports page. Coming up tomorrow night, it's my own personal work with the Moonshiners Racing League over on Precision Entertainment as we make the trip here to Atlanta Motor Speedway tomorrow night. If you liked what you saw tonight, you'll want to check that one out tomorrow. Myself, Justin Prince, Zach Case, Adam Thompson on the call over there for Precision Entertainment. Get that one tomorrow night starting at 8 p.m. Thursday night, the PGR Esports Intimidator Super Speedway Series begins Q3 with a bit of a different format this week. It's usually a super speedway race. We're actually going to run Legends Coupes at USA with a short track Saturday night feel. Heats, LCQ, and feature racing on Thursday night. That's another unique twist in what has become a very diverse schedule on Thursday nights. Of course, coming up in a couple of weeks, it's the SummerSlam 499, July 29th through August 2nd. You will not want to miss a thing of that event coming up in just a few weeks. Later on in the week, Friday night's the Midnight Racing League and its Contender Series, along with a couple of other McCullough Motorsports events with Jim Bob and the gang over there, also on PGR Esports. Sunday night, Sunday Fun Day. Not sure if there's going to be a broadcast for that yet, but it did come back this week, so expect that to be back next week. Monday night's the next recruitment race for the SummerSlam 499. The next gen at Talladega take back to the track on Monday evening. That one will also be live here on PGR Esports. Then next Tuesday night, it's the Challenger Cup Series live here from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Short track racing for the first time in a long time here in 2026 as the field heads to rural North Carolina for race 3 of the season here in this second season of 2026. What a crazy one tonight from Atlanta. That's going to just about do it for us as we bid you farewell from a crazy one tonight in Hampton, Georgia. One of the craziest finishes you'll ever see, one of the craziest Challenger Cup Series races you'll ever see is in the books. And yet again, it's the defending champ in Victory Lane. We hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage from Atlanta. Again, my name is Dawson Wise, and you've been watching PGR Esports and its coverage of the Challenger Cup Series live tonight once again. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked what you saw. Keep coming back and keep helping the growth of PGR continue on into a bigger and brighter future. Congratulations to Ryan Patty on another victory in his illustrious Challenger Cup Series career tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see you next week from North Wilkesboro. Good night from Hampton.